no pens or paper.
I can't with this Daley Vigil face. Like, it gives me, and you know, Chad, I know we just yelled at you for being horny, but it gives me when you nut and she keep on sucking face. Like, it's straight up. It straight up is, though, you know? Folks, what is up, and welcome to another episode of Ace Attorney with an actual lawyer. I'm your host, Zach, joined by our voice actor, Wes.
Hi.
And our actual lawyer, Bridge.
Hello.
Folks, if you like this, you can catch us live on twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam, like all the wonderful people, all 169 people in the chat. Nice. Make jokes with us. We really appreciate that. And if you can, support us on patreon.com/SaveDataTeam, where for just $2 a month, you get access to the full VOD channel of every single stream we do. $5 lets you vote on one of our variety streams, as well as get your name included as an NPC in our D&D campaign Saving Throw. And at the $10 level and above, you get your name included in this month's brand new Patreon song. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. Burger Bun, Mr. Cola Bun, Eddie Cosmo, Dave Hall, Lucha, and Sofino. HSM, Ernless, Crow Knight, Danny, Antilester, Kevin Nation, Shadowed Navi. Witch Tower, Sky Hurler, Kite, Self Aria, Arky, Forensic Technic, Cole, JFJ, Mystic, Woody. Leprechaun, Jacob L, Go, Zeppeli, Sheberstein, Ryger, Rilla Jolie, Baron Esper, BBC, What, and Sherlock's, Mr. Mokasil, Art, Ami, Borshak. Anna Chick, K1, Washram, Ari, Diego Garcia, Night Boomer, Emily. Mega Zero, Big Curbo, Who Needs to Sleep, Alea, Yakta, Estever, Entropy, Daedric and Serafina, Sealamgar, Chrissy, and Tasty Marbar. Taco Sensei, QB Nagashi, don't forget the Jester and Haruka Naegi. Dessert Boy Man, Elijah Sly, Rick Rat, Katja, Traveling in a Box, and Snowcat, Conjuring Scribe, Zeal, Croissant, Fulfilla, Written Word, Shade the Punisher, Sibylla. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. But with that all out of the way, let's get back into the game. Okay, let's go check out Mr. Vigil, shall we?
Oh man, no one cleaned up that rat.
He's still here. Forget, did we have a name for that rat? Was that rat a streamy? Or is that just a whole different joke entirely?
This is like
This is Ratty Healy. It's Ratty
Healy. Oh, the Dr. Rat who also rolls around on his Heelys.
Rest in peace.
Rest in power, Ratty Healy. This is the ward where Mr. Vigil was brought, apparently.
To be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again.
Why would you do that, Ryan? Oh, he looks fine. Ah, the lawyer. Hello again.
Hey man, how's the trauma going?
Oh, you know.
What's up, everybody?
So
Welcome
great.
to our Trauma Center Let's Play right here on...
Trauma Center with the real traumatized guy.
With the real center of trauma. Are you feeling better now, Mr. Vigil?
No, you guys just dug up the darkest moment of my life, so feeling pretty shitty.
I mean, I guess better than I was. Yes, thank you. Somewhat better.
I'm so sorry to have caused you to... I mean, it was because of me.
No, it wasn't!
If I hadn't exposed your secret and forced you to remember things,
didn't!
you'd obviously tried to forget.
But you didn't do that! The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago, too. You just missed him.
Oh, Cosmo beat us to it.
He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic.
Okay.
But the truth is, I brought all this upon myself.
Please, don't think of it like that. Okay, man.
Vogue. Keeping it from Evie, my wife, all these years, I've carried such a sense of guilt. But that's not the worst of it. Over time, I obviously came to deceive myself as well. You mean about your dismissal? Looking back now, I'm beginning to think perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all.
No.
I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as his stand-in.
Yeah, I think it was kind of the point, my guy.
He was clearly concerned for my well-being and doing what he could to help.
So, perhaps Gregson knew exactly what had become of Mr. Vigil all along, then?
I'm sure this is just desserts for 10 years of lies and deception, but... It wasn't me that helped the Professor escape 10 years ago! It wasn't me! I swear it! I swear it's true!
Yeah, I believe that.
I don't. You did it. You're guilty.
Mr. Vigil.
I'm sure you'd rather not dredge up even more from your past at this time, but can we do that?
I'm gonna do that.
If possible, could you...
But what if we did it anyway?
Look at his face!
He's looking at you like,
Come on, man. Are you fucking kidding me?
Fuck, bro?
I'm literally in the hospital for having a break, and you're gonna hit me with this.
Did you not just see me shaking and crying?
Did you not see me just shitting and farting?
I knew that was coming.
If possible, could you tell us exactly what really happened?
I want to. I need to get all this off my chest. I just want someone to tell me what I should have done. Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of some sort. He was investigating something that even Scotland Yard couldn't know about.
Details of the Reaper's marks, yes.
It was when he had to carry out those investigations that I would take his identification and impersonate him.
You'd pretend to be the inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf.
Oh, no, never! A common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All I would do is go to the specified location and make a little hoo-ha.
You'd make a little what?
Make a little hoopla! Just something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was here. So, that's what you were doing on the day prior to the incident.
Okay, yeah, so he was 100% just being used for Gregson to have alibis for shit.
Oh, wow.
Yes. He asked me to make an appearance at the park on Lime Street for the Red-Headed League event. So, as usual, I flashed the inspector's identification around and was very vocal about my presence.
But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed fraudsters.
Yes.
So, you would always make a point of showing Gregson's identification and generally being loud.
That's what the inspector asked me to do, yes.
Alright, Vigil, I need you to make a lot of hoo-ha.
What?
Well, that's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose. Not the good one, though.
I mean, it's kind of what Sholmes does, though.
You take
But actually,
that
Sean
back.
occasionally solve something.
And talk loudly.
And, as you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck at their hands. Literally. But the following day, they kept their word and released me.
Without returning the inspector's identification to you, however.
We had arranged to meet in the Fresno Street room at 5 that day, so I could report back to the inspector. But at the agreed time, that's when I heard the gunshot.
Interesting.
So tell me about the time you let that criminal escape.
It was at midnight on 17th June, 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for the execution.
But the professor's execution never actually took place, did it?
Or rather, the execution itself must have been used to effect the plan of escape. I hardly dare to imagine what a chilling plan it was. Berkeley was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went in or out of the place was searched multiple times. But there was one notable exception. Or rather, one notable loophole. Something that was never questioned.
I have a feeling I know what that loophole was now. The coffins into which the bodies of the executed convicts were placed into, correct?
Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in its coffin for immediate burial in Lowgate Cemetery, just behind the prison.
Okay, so we still don't know why Dr. Scythe gave him a
Did
fake...
it?
Yeah. We just know that it happened.
Yeah.
The chief warder first had to sign the necessary papers. And after that, no member of staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing the body again.
Iris, surprise!
But wait, he isn't dead. Ira, surprise! I didn't intend that to actually kind of line up with what we're talking about, but that's pretty funny.
Actual inventor, Shia Wilson.
When executions took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I had that confirmation, I went into the mortuary to find a lone coffin, as usual. The procedure was that I would sign the paperwork, having checked the coffin, then nail it shut. But for some reason that day, the coffin was already nailed shut. No! I didn't think anything of it at the time. I assumed that my deputy must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived.
So, you mean the coffin contained...
Yes. I can only imagine that Asogi, having escaped his execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin.
Yeah, which tracks with everything we know.
The coffin was then taken out through the main gates and deposited in Lowgate Cemetery. Presumably there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long.
So he had to use his fist to slowly punch his way out and then dig out from under, doing a Kill Bill. I I can't remember what. I don't think that move had a name, but where she just punches with the front.
It's
the
a
length
variation.
of her fingers.
It's a variation of the 1-inch punch. Is what she's doing, but it doesn't have a special name at all. No.
So, in the early hours following the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again to set Genshin free.
But in the end, he was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night, I wonder? I'm afraid I really don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. There are a lot of really horny people in the chat for me. And Asogi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from somebody working in the prison. And that somebody...
Okay.
And that somebody was me. Not...
My wife. Oh, shit. Vigil
I mean,
does
he
love
does have a
talking about
wife.
his wife. Fuck.
My wife.
Borat Vigil. Come on. Here we go. Give me some Borat Vigil.
Give it to us, show. Give it to us, folks. Come on.
My wife, not. Obviously, you knew the man then. The professor, I mean. Genshin Asogi.
Yes. I remember him well, in fact.
Would you mind telling us what you know?
Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously. After the trial, which was carried out behind closed doors, attended only by elite members of the judiciary, they called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity.
The outcome of the trial was set from the beginning, wasn't it?
It was a time of delicate diplomacy, when Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. Ow! That meant that this potentially destabilizing case had to be dealt with swiftly and discreetly.
Why do I feel like this treaty is going to be like the secret thing that's behind everything in the entire game?
I mean, whatever the heart of this case is, it is the DL6 of Great Ace Attorney.
Uh-huh.
It is the inciting incident that happened 10 years ago that set up everybody to be on this weird path.
Uh-huh.
The man had less than a week in total. As I was the chief warder, I oversaw his short stay in the cells until his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character and incredible resilience.
What do you mean exactly?
The bailiff smacked his pee-pee so many times, and yet he never wavered. He took it like a champ. He was a killer of many men, but he was always quiet and polite. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe what he'd done. So I asked him one day, "What have you done?" "Those 5 members of the aristocracy whose lives were taken. Were you really responsible?"
I like this setup. It's cool.
"I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life. Yes."
Well, you word that very vaguely, and it doesn't exactly answer my question.
Yeah.
It makes me think that you didn't, because you were very specific.
Yeah.
And after that, I saw no reason to ask more questions.
After that, I peaced out of that.
Yeah, that was good enough for me. following day, the closed trial took place, and the verdict was no surprise.
Guilty.
No, actually. Weirdly enough.
They let him go free. He just chose to go to the cemetery and get in a coffin.
Really weird decision, honestly.
He said he was really into Van Zeek's whole thing, vampire thing, and he wanted to try it. But then somebody thought he was a real vampire and shot him.
Which is weird, because that's not how you kill vampires.
It's a terrible tragedy.
He didn't even use a stake or anything, or bring garlic, so it wasn't really a good anti-vampire strategy.
That night, when he was brought back to his cell, I saw something. Something unusual.
Something unusual? What?
I wanted him to say, like the guy from Courage the Cowardly Dog, where he goes, something naughty.
That's such a good episode.
Oh, it's an incredible episode.
The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi.
Okay.
But does she see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Okay, that was an incredible timing on that sub-fulfiller. Thank you very much. But does Genshin Asogi see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Okay, let's hear about the will.
As I said, it was on the night following his trial, after he'd been found guilty. I was doing the rounds of the cells, and when I looked into Asogi's, I noticed that he seemed to have a sheet of paper in his hand.
Kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
His last will and testament, then, presumably.
No, it was a picture of someone's hand with the thumb and forefinger pressed together into a circle. And then I was like, dang it.
Got me, Genshin Asogi. I looked.
It was actually the webcomic Loss.
Aw, fuck.
Oh, no.
Soapy redeemed.
As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it behind his back.
Okay, hold the phone. I gotta change the alerts, because we can't be having this during this actually serious scene. Kimi Nagashi gifted 5 subs. Thank you very much for that. Give me 2 seconds.
God, that's so funny.
Also, genuinely, what the fuck is wrong with you, Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Why'd you have to put that in a commercial?
For reasons.
I blame Cinnamon Toast Crunch for why y'all are so horny.
Yeah, genuinely. How much Cinnamon Toast Crunch did Twitch chat have as a kid? Cinnamon Toast Crunch just donated $5 saying blah 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 blah. Alright, that got me good.
As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it behind his back. But why did you find that so unusual? Well, because he couldn't read or write.
Hi, I'm Genshin Asogi, 37, and I never learned how to read.
But I did commit the heinous crime of ending another man's life.
The heinous and vague crime.
The very vague crime.
Isn't it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death is nigh? Is Bill nigh? Yes, that's true. But there were special conditions to Asogi's incarceration, you see.
What sort of conditions?
Well, even though he was held in a cell designed for condemned inmates, he was allowed to keep his personal effects with him, with one exception.
Really? He was allowed his things? Well, that is unusual, certainly.
Of course, he'd been convicted of killing 5 members of the aristocracy. But at the same time, he was a guest in our country from the Empire of Japan. The powers that be were determined that his final days shouldn't be needlessly uncomfortable. And what was the exception you mentioned to the personal effects he was allowed? That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing materials. Or, you know, a gun, or a knife, or murdery things.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, no pens or paper.
I can't with this fucking Daley Vigil face. Like, it gives me, and you know, chat, I know we just yelled at you for being horny, but it gives me when you nut and she keep on sucking face. Like, it's straight up. It straight up is, though, you know?
See, I was gonna say it's given me Patrick trying to figure out what to order at the
Yeah, that
Krusty
works too.
Krab.
That works, too.
But your thing's also funny. I'll have an
I think Zach's got the right of it this time. I hate to admit it, but he's right.
So, he was prevented from leaving any written record of what had happened to him. Yes, that was the long and short of it. I've no idea where he obtained that paper. Any writing materials would have been confiscated from him upon his incarceration. As I said, he hid the paper behind his back, and then he pleaded with me. Of course, I have the brain of a possum, so as soon as it went behind his back, I forgot that he even had it. What did you just hide behind your back?
Please. Please turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline.
But you know it's against the rules.
You're the only person who's seen. If you just agree to keep quiet.
All right then. But what's on that paper?
A last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now.
How can a will be a weapon? I mean,
Where there's a will.
Where the will, there's a weapon.
also,
Yeah.
in general, the Asogi family just seems obsessed with making metaphors with weapons. You know, a katana is a Japanese man's soul. This will is my weapon. Like, it's all they think about. What's up with that? That's all I'm trying to say.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
So I decided to pretend I'd seen nothing, and I let him keep his will. But then later, it just seemed to vanish without trace.
What? What do you mean it vanished?
It would seem that isn't the end of the story of this mysterious will. I was the only person who saw Asogi's will, but
Somehow it disappeared.
it was after Asogi's execution.
Which was actually an elaborate jailbreak.
Yes, that's what the air quotes were for. The warders gathered up Asogi's possessions that were in his cell. They were all to be sent back to his family home in Japan, you see. To poor Kazuma-sama.
And you're saying that it wasn't anywhere to be found among his personal effects? The will, I mean.
That's right. Though I didn't search through them myself. But Governor Caden was livid. He was screaming, "It can have disappeared completely." That Doesn't quite make sense, though, does it?
In what way?
Well, we'd understood that only Mr. Vigil was aware of the will's existence.
Yeah.
In which case, how did the prison governor know to look for it?
Oh, yes, you're right.
I really don't know how he knew. But it certainly seemed as though he knew of the will's existence from the outset. Only, he didn't refer to it as a will. What he said was,
It's my weapon.
the Asogi papers.
They can't call it the Asogi Papers. Surely it's not called the Asogi Papers. The Asogi Papers? Metal Gear?
Pentagon.
Oh
papers.
God! I don't know why, but calling him the Asogi Papers is really funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like Pridge said. It's like it's some like big Watergate scandal, which to be
Yeah.
fair, it kind of is, but it is
Yeah,
just
I think-
funny.
I think that's what they're trying to go for here. It's just, it's
Yeah, but-
weirdly on the nose.
Yeah, but like the news calls them the Asogi Papers, not the
Not the guy
random
who
Scottish
writes
Right,
jail
exactly,
war.
right.
Yeah, King Kieran says Asogate.
It's like, do you
which
think
is
if I
really
call them the
good.
Asogi Papers, it'll catch on? Everyone, call them the Asogi Papers. That's what they're called now.
That's the thing. Everyone do it.
And I told him to stop trying to make Asogi papers the thing. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
I really can't tell you anything of the subsequent events. Because, well, of what happened.
Your dismissal and the way you blocked it all from your memory.
I had forgotten all this until today. I don't even suppose it's relevant to the case, though.
Well, anyway, thank you very much for sharing it with us, Mr. Vigil. We're very grateful.
I'm afraid there's really little more I can tell you. My wife, Evie, will be here shortly.
Sorry, who?
Chat, please contain yourselves. So I do hope I don't appear rude, but
When I tell you to get the fuck out.
No, not at all. Thank you again.
But what will become of you now? Well, impersonating a police officer is a criminal offense, of course.
Probably won't go over too well.
I imagine that once I'm fully recovered, I shall be arrested.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be, please. This was all my own doing. I always knew that this day would come.
Well, I wish you well. Goodbye, Mr. Vigil.
Before you go, there's just one thing!
God damn it. Oh, yes? What is it?
The Asogi papers.
God damn it.
I'd be very grateful if you'd make no mention of the things I told you about them.
Presumably for some good reason. I mean, yeah, Ryan.
Give me one good reason I shouldn't do that.
Well, no, the name's just really dumb, so I don't want people to
I don't want
talk
people
about
to
it.
know.
It's my understanding that their very existence is a closely guarded secret. If it became known that I'd remembered,
Asa Shin
Well.
might come after me.
Oh, don't worry, she's dead.
Oh.
oh, well then, tell everybody.
I'm just gonna
Well-
fucking tell everyone.
It could be rather troublesome, I think.
I understand. I guess. Some sort of will that Genshin Asogi penned just before his death, which the man himself claimed was his last weapon. I wonder, Perhaps it had something to do with his plan to escape. If there's anyone who might know more about the document that Kazuma's father left behind.
It would be Mr. Vigil's governor.
For some reason, I assumed they were going to say Kazuma, but
Say that
I
at
guess
the-
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then we know precisely where he must go. Back to Barclay Prison.
Just sitting in the corner. That's me in the corner.
We need to examine things here, right?
Yep, yeah, we gotta examine the clipboard, was the thing. These must be the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Tendency to jump from windows. Remember to place cushion at base of wall outside. Aren't we a story
Okay.
up from the ground here?
Oh dear. Poor Mr. Vigil.
Can't help feeling that there's a better solution to the problem than a cushion, though.
No, that's the
Nah,
best we can do.
therapy hasn't been invented yet, so.
It's the best we can do.
Finding something you'd lost isn't always a happy experience, it turns out. Pursuing the truth can be a very dark business sometimes, can't it?
Yes. I'm afraid it can.
Yeah, chat, I don't know. I don't think that was that funny. Alright. And I smoke a cheer 10 bit saying, don't worry, the thing you click when the desk in Van Zeke's office will be absolutely hilarious compared to this, trust me. Thank you for the reminder.
It's just like Van Zeke's crying about his brother dying. It's just like the least,
Cosmo's like,
it's just like the least funny thing ever.
Hilarious.
Cosmo's like, oh yes, that's the tear bucket Van Zeke's kept under his desk for when he cried about his brother. Alright, let's go back to the president governor's office.
All those bottles of wine in there, it's not wine, it's his tears. It's all the crying.
What do you got for us, Caden?
Caden animations.
Thank you.
Oh, back again, are you?
Yes. Hello.
I've heard all about your investigations. That I read the report just now. You found him, eh? Vigil?
Yes. Luckily.
Wow. Anywho, the laddie doesn't work here no more, so your case is naught to do with Barclay. I wouldn't like you to get the wrong idea about that.
Of course, yes. Mr. Vigil stopped working here 10 years ago now, so...
Yes, we've seen his dismissal notice, haven't we? He was given the job.
Aye, Kimmer. You can very well. So, how about a wee handcuff biscuit?
Oh, they really are like little handcuffs. And as hard as irons, too. That's not good.
I don't like that.
yeah, with how much you used to crunch into them, it's funny.
So, what's brought you down here today?
Well, there's something else we'd like to ask you about, actually.
Is that so?
We believe there might have been a document that disappeared from Genshin Asogi's cell. I think it's been called the Asogi Papers or something?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to kill you. Oh, for some reason, I genuinely thought he pulled a gun out from his fucking...
I was absolutely thinking that for
Yeah.
a second.
And I was about to lose my fucking mind.
He's like, you know about the Asogi papers.
You know too much.
Did I no say? Gregson's death is naught to do with things that might have happened at Barclay. Leave the past in the past, laddie. Let's not foot her about with irrelevant details.
Also, yeah, the chat points out, Ryan was literally just told not to mention this to anybody. Incredible. His expressions changed completely.
Has it?
We're clearly onto something here.
His expressions kind of changed, I think.
No, I think he's been making that same face the whole time.
That murderer's botched execution and the whole miserable escape. They were Barclay's darkest hours, aye. A shocking embarrassment.
Because the convict had a collaborator on the prison staff, you mean?
Aye, for shame. The coroner who confirmed the death of the man after his execution, Courtney Scythe. And my chief warder at the time, Vigil, he was in charge of the whole affair.
But Mr. Vigil says he didn't know anything about it.
The rascal wouldn't say otherwise, eh? Poor handcuffs.
Oh, how could I say no? You can never have too much iron in your diet.
That's a good joke.
Cute.
When Mr. Vigil was handed his dismissal notice as a result of what had happened, he was so despairing. He jumped out of your office window, didn't he?
I didn't like to say. That's just Vigil trying to get out of it. Do you no think he wouldn't have jumped from the shock of his crimes being exposed, eh? I do.
You wouldn't say otherwise, though, would you?
Of course, I can't shun no responsibility myself. Yeah, I shouldn't have let him deceive me. Actually, there's barely anybody that kens what went on at the time now. Gregson hadn't been murdered, and Dr. Scythe forbidden from having any visitors.
No visitors? Someone obviously doesn't want her giving anything away. Yeah, I mean, that's suspicious as fuck.
The
Are you
Scythe,
kidding me?
the Scythe papers.
We're not going home empty-handed.
All right, take some biscuits.
Whoa!
Yeah!
Good call!
Called shots again.
Got him.
And I wouldn't dream of sending you packing without Kimmer. Here, take a handcuff or two.
Oh, well, it would be rude to say no. Wouldn't want to become anemic.
God damn it.
I suppose, if there's anybody who might still ken about what happened back then, it'd be that lass from the forensic division, Maria Gori.
Okay, this is how we actually meet Maria. Maria Gori?
Aye, Scythe's daughter. She didn't have no more, just the one. But the wee bairns followed in her mam's footsteps. You didn't ever see her without a scalpel in her hand.
Ah. Yeah.
Mama, what these
Fuck you.
days?
Ah. Where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? Dr. Scythe's daughter, Maria Gori. I could do with talking to her. So, she's Dr. Scythe's daughter, but her surname is Gori.
Aye, there's some family history, I'm sure, but I didn't ken the ins and outs of it.
Listen, the developers just wanted to have a reason to have her name have Gori in it. It's fine.
Yep.
You just admit it. It's okay.
She grew up watching her mum working with the bodies of folk who died in strange circumstances. Decided to do the same with her own life. I can't understand it myself.
Perhaps she was driven by a deep respect for her mother.
Perhaps. Anywho, she was in charge of Gregson's autopsy, I believe.
Right. The coroner responsible for this incomplete report.
Someone told me once that the wee lassie always loved her mam's stories about cutting up bodies. There's even a rumour that she used to listen to the funeral march as a lullaby.
Okay.
Well, then perhaps her mother might have told her about the autopsy from the case 10 years ago.
Aye, I'd say there's a fighting chance at least. After all, that was a life-changing case for all of us.
We really need to speak to Miss Corey herself about this, I think. Well, thank you very much.
I'm no happy about any part of this. It took years for Londoners to finally forget the whole professor business. Can you no get up on this, laddie? Stop asking pointless questions.
I'm sorry. I don't like dredging up these painful memories for everyone.
Can you no just stay away now? Leave me alone. And dinna come back here, eh?
Anyway, about the Asogi papers.
Damn it!
How'd you come to ken about that, laddie? There's no many folk, even here in the prison, who've heard of those papers.
Well, I can't tell him that Vigil told me.
Mr. Pidgel told me.
That's not a name.
That's nothing.
It
Maddie.
also sounds a lot like Vigil, so I'm going to assume Vigil told me.
Fuck.
Damn it!
I'm afraid our
You didn't
sources
think that
must
one
remain
through too hard,
confidential.
did you?
We've been led to believe the papers are actually a last will and testament. Is that right? The professor's, or rather, Genshin Asogi's.
Aye, that's right. You're well informed, Jimmy.
Actually, it's Ryan. I mean, Bruno. Fuck. I mean, Rianosuke.
Rianosuke. Yeah.
You're well informed, Jimmy. Well, thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate that, Jim.
Really good. Oh,
You want the Asogi papers? Why don't I just throw a lasso around them and pull them down for you?
Wow, that was really good.
is that the end of the silent treatment? But then after the convict's execution, it mysteriously vanished from his cell, didn't it?
Havers, no. You're off at half cock there. I think you didn't quite get your facts straight. It was there in the cell, exactly where it should have been.
Oh, not what we heard elsewhere. So did they fake a fucking will and testament? Or somebody faked a will and testament for him and took the real one?
I don't know. Let me just have a wee hawk around here. I'm sure I can find it. Aye, here you are. See?
The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi, written with a calligraphy brush.
Of course. I can't read a word of those Japanese squiggles.
We never got it translated for some reason.
Yeah, what?
But I mind it says he leaves all his worldly possessions to his son back in his homeland.
Yes, that's correct. That's the gist of it.
So these are the Asogi papers?
Aye, course they are. Papers written by Asogi. No doubt about that.
Asogi papers? What do you want from me?
There's no mystery here, laddie. That's your lot. After all the that slayster of an execution.
Those
What
are some
is that?
words. Those are some words.
After all the stramish of that slayster of an execution.
It's really good.
Wow.
It's really good.
That's some, I guess, Gaelic slang. I have no idea. He sent the man's possessions back to his clan in Japan, and that was the end of it.
I think we ought to make a record of this, Mr. Naruhodo. Just in case.
Okay.
One thing before you go on your way, Mr. Naruhodo.
And now he pulls out the gun.
Yep.
Have you seen my gun?
Yes?
Those papers are naught to do with Gregson's death. I prefer it if you didn't make no mention of them. It's outside this office. Or rather, I wouldn't just prefer it. Consider it an order from the highest levels of our government.
Well, funny thing about that. So, like, of the last four cases I've done, 3 of them I have divulged national secrets. So,
I will be doing that again.
Oh, Kaden, do you think I care about that?
I understand, wink.
What was that? You just winked.
I'll never tell, has his fingers crossed in the front.
I can see your fingers are crossed. I need you to not wink or cross your fingers.
Haha. Whatever you say.
Okay, I promise.
I didn't like that giggle.
There's a scene in that 70s show where Kelso absolutely says "I promise" instead of "I promise."
That's so stupid and funny.
When he doesn't want to promise something, he just goes "I promise." So I always think of just saying "I promise" on stupid
that's
things.
really good.
So dumb.
Alright, let's go check on our moody boyfriend. Let's go check on Katana Boyfriend. Dual-wielding boyfriend.
I mean, if he's into that, sure.
Kazuma. Oh, shit, I didn't think you could hear me. I didn't mean to say your name like that.
I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Ryunosuke. I was right about what I said, wasn't I?
I can't even remember what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Sorry?
That you have all the makings of a great defense lawyer.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're damn right. Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dream of advocating in British courts. I just never imagined for 1 second that it would be as a prosecutor.
Seeing you stand in a foreign courtroom so gallantly, realizing your dream, Kazuma-sama. I'm truly happy for you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm talking to my boyfriend right now.
And I'm truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Mikotoba.
Jam.
Come on, Unslam.
Jam! Jam, jam,
Jam, jam, jam, jam.
Bill.
Stop saying
Stop
Bill!
saying Bill! Ryunosuke. I always thought it would be for fun. It would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little longer, a little together.
I mean, is I don't know if this is fun anymore, my guy. We're like into some serious shit.
No, this is totally fun. We're just real fucking shit up now.
Yeah.
It's
This
a blast. Come on, tell me you're not having a
Why?
blast.
This isn't quite how I envisaged it, but I suppose it's just another twist of fate.
I've learnt a lot of things during my time in London. About how Susato-san's father himself was a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jigoku. And about what happened with your father.
Then you'll have no difficulty understanding.
Whoa! Kermit the Charmer just gifted $292.18.
Thank you.
What a specific number!
Yeah, getting us exactly
But
to
it
500.
did get us,
Very good.
which is very good.
And Thor voice, I like this donation goal. Psh, another! Thank you so much. Oh my god.
Thank you.
That's extremely
Thank you,
generous, Kermit.
Ah!
You're very charming, Deborah.
What?
My Kermit always becomes Ray Romano.
Kermit Romano.
Yeah, it always ends up being Ray Romano on accident.
Oh, God.
Oh, Kirby. Thank you.
Oh, Ray.
Wait, 2 seconds.
Piggy. Ah!
Did somebody say Ray Romano? Hey, Deborah, I'm here. You found me, Deborah. I'm on twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam.
Now the next thing is you gotta put
Kappa Ray Romano?
Kermit's head.
Oh.
No, Kermit's head on Ray Romano soon.
Oh, I could do that. I could do that.
Why I had no choice. Why I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself.
I want to hear it from you, Cosimo.
As you wish, Ryunosuke Naruto.
Okay, but first, I'm going to
I
look
gotta
around
look
your
at your
room.
stuff. What's this?
I love that you just walk away from him.
What's under here?
Walk away from him.
There's Lord Van Zeek's incredibly stylish desk.
It's not my style, though.
Okay, well, I wasn't talking to you. No,
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have thought you. I wouldn't think it is.
I noticed you've been working at the little table on the floor, kneeling down Caesar style.
At the kids' table.
I thought it was some kind of punishment set up by Lord Van Zeek's when I first saw it.
I find it the most comfortable way to work.
I can't do it. After a couple of minutes of sitting with my legs folded under me, they start to go tingly.
Don't exaggerate, Ryunosuke. We both know you can't even manage a minute.
You can't even stay on your knees for a whole fucking minute.
You can't even last a minute, Ryunosuke. We both know that.
That's good. All right, chat. That was a good one. And the cushions? Wait, what cushions?
Yeah.
The barrels?
Oh, that's what they wanted. Okay.
Casks floor to ceiling, just like the last time we were here. Hallowed barrels, I suppose.
They're arranged according to vintage, flavor, and region. Every week, they're all taken out and put back in order.
Why? What? Every week?
Lord Van Zeeks can't seem to settle on the perfect way of arranging them, you see. Oh, so he's OCD. Vintage, flavor, and region don't neatly coincide. That's the trouble.
Gosh, being his apprentice must be a real challenge.
Actually, no.
Oh?
He considers the task too important to entrust to anybody else, so he does it entirely on his own.
So he's a barrel of laughs here and in court then.
Wow,
Got him. Got his ass.
Wait, you gotta look at the bats.
Okay, we'll look at the bats too.
Frickin' bats.
Ah!
Ah!
Ah! Wah!
You disturbed the Waluigi bats, didn't you? Fitting companions of Lord Van Zeeks, wouldn't you say?
Actually, I've seen things flying in Lord Strongheart's office too. Doves, I think.
Ah, yes. So have you met John Woo yet?
He lives there.
Perhaps you have to like birds to attain rank in the judiciary here.
Yes, you figured it out.
It literally
it's
is.
a very strict requirement
This
to
game-
like birds.
This game is the true aviary attorney.
Although bats
aren't birds, of course.
How about a sparrow for you?
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. Sorry, just thinking out loud. I also
get the
don't
joke.
super get it. Yeah, what the fuck does that even mean?
there's some cultural reference, I think.
Yeah. Alright. And one more thing. We'll show the armband, because I actually do want to see what he says to this. Cosima, this is your armband.
Actually, I think it's yours now.
Sorry.
You're the defense lawyer. You have a talent for it. I've always known that you would. And now, you've chosen to take that path in life. As your friend, I couldn't be happier for you. Or more proud.
Cosima.
So you keep hold of that. Besides, I'm a prosecutor now. That armband would have no meaning for me.
Well, if you're sure. Thank you, my friend. Alright.
Just say partner already.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Just do it.
It's getting on for a year now, since what happened on the SS Buria. We were heading across the oceans from Japan to Great Britain. When a bizarre series of coincidences... Wait, is it supposed to say bizarre series of coincidences?
Ooh, did we finally get
Typo!
Did we
No,
finally get
wait. Unless in England, series is spelled like serious because they're fucking idiots.
So it's either 0
This
out
is
of
my
10
revenge, England.
It's either 0 out of 10 game or 0 out of 10 country.
Well, I mean, we already knew that.
Sorry, England and our British viewers. I had to go off on that one. But yeah, 0 out of 10 game, literally unplayable.
Yeah, no, this game sucks.
When a bizarre series of coincidences led to those tragic events, I thought I'd lost my best friend forever.
I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, I was lying on a bed. I didn't have any of my clothes for some reason. Still don't know what was up with that. It was a narrow little room. There was a posy of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in the cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up onto the deck.
Were you already suffering from amnesia at that point?
Yes. I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There was just this voice in my head. Kill your family.
Yeah, alright.
Kill your family. Kill your family. You have something you have to do. Something no one else can know about.
I mean, it had to be Swedish guy in his head.
Go to Great Britain. Your taste awaits you there.
I am a spooky Swedish guy.
That Swedish voice. It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly.
I mean, yeah, it compels Wes relentlessly to do the voice every time he can.
Out on deck, I saw that I was on a huge steamship, and we were docked in a large port.
I leaned over the side and I saw the ship was on the side of the ship was written Titanic, and I said, "Fuck."
No!
It must have been Hong Kong.
Yes, it must have been. Presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship.
I had no idea of the situation, but I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself among the disembarking passengers and went ashore. Then I disappeared into the crowded streets of that foreign port city. so I could plan my onward journey to Great Britain.